To the shark-infested waters of the Caribbean Sea, we approach an island of extraordinary beauty. Rising precipitously from palm-fringed beaches, great craggy mountains are set against the transparent tropical sky, reaching stony fingers to the hot shield of the sun overhead, and then sweeping down swiftly beyond, toward luxuriant plains, dense jungles, deep swamps. This is the land on which Columbus first set foot when he sailed into the dark mystery of the Western Sea. It was not far from the site of the bustling town of Cape Haitian that Columbus landed in 1492. And it was through this country that the Spaniards hunted and killed so many Indians that finally they were forced to import slaves from Africa to do the work of the colony. At the close of the 17th century, the western half of Columbus Island of Hispaniola was granted to the French, and under the administration of their colonial system, Haiti, or San Domingo as the French called it, became the richest colonial possession in the world. Plantations covered the land. Cities and roads were built. Fields of sugarcane, coffee, cotton, and indigo flourished under the tropical skies. But with swollen wealth, inevitably came dissipation and glittering corruption. Unrest and dissatisfaction began to smolder among the 500,000 Negro slaves, the 50,000 mulattoes, and the 40,000 whites. In the dead of night, in reeking compounds,
our blacks are scarred with many whippings. Our legs tremble from long hours in the field. We are tortured. We are degraded. Our wives and daughters are taken from us. Our bodies ache for food. Our souls long for freedom. There are some among us who can remember freedom under plagues and in the jungles of Africa. Freedom. Oh, be quiet. You will be heard.
and among the mulattoes, that caste sprung up from the union of white aristocrats and black mistresses, there was the age-old heartbreak of the half-breed, refused acceptance by one caste or the other. Often in their homes they met and fought.
We are called free men of color, but are we free?
No. We're but the property of the colony, compelled to serve in the barracks, forced to labor on the highways.
We have black blood, yes, but we are also half-white. Are we not intelligent? Have not many of us been educated in France? Have we not also accumulated riches and slaves?
Calm yourselves. Our friends in Paris are petitioning the National Assembly for our complete freedom. Wait a little longer.
And in the shops and stores of the Petit Bloc, the little whites, the petty tradesmen of Haiti, jealousy and hatred reigned.
Not only do the big whites cheat us out of our profits, but these mulattoes. Bah, I despise them. They make as much money as we do.
I hate them worse than I hate the blacks. They want equality. Pah, the upstart.
While over the mansions of the Grand Bloc, the big whites, the aristocrats of exorbitant wealth, the pall of satiety and decay descended.
I tell you, Pierre, we must watch these tradespeople. They are becoming insolent.
Dieu, mon Dieu. It is not the tradespeople we must watch. It is these insufferable mulattoes. They gain too much power. They are getting rich. We must put tighter restrictions on them.
Pierre. Oh, I'm so angry. It's fool.
Please do not get so excited, ma chérie. Remember my nerves. Now, what is it?
That miserable slave, that black cook, she burned the pastry for the banquet. Oh, the cochon noir.
Well, what did you do?
What did I do? What was there to do? I had her thrown in.
Into this confusion and turmoil, into this seething colony, was born in the middle of the 18th century a black slave boy, destined to lead his race out of bondage. His name was Toussaint. He was owned by Monsieur Comte de Nau, an aristocratic planter, made him his body servant. It was when he was 18 that Toussaint married Susan Simon, wife of Gau, a slave who had been sold away from the plantation.
Why, what's the matter, mon cher? Why are you so quiet?
Those drums. I hate them. Booming. Forged in the chains of ignorance and superstition about the souls of our people. I hate voodoo.
Don't say that. Voodoo listen in all the leaves, in the clair de lune. I have fear of voodoo. You talk like that, I unmarry you.
Toussaint, Cherie, you must stop fearing voodoo right now. You and your son, Placide, must not listen to the voodoo drums.
You frighten me more than the drums when you talk like that, Toussaint. Gaou never talked like that.
Gaou was a good man, but he did not know what I know.
What you mean?
I'll show you. This book I brought from Master's house. I'll read something for you. Sounds different from talking, reading does. But you listen good, and you know what it means.
Go ahead. You read it for me.
Here's what it says. Nations of Europe, your slaves are not in need of your counsels to break the sacrilegious yoke which oppresses them. The Negroes lack only a chief. Where is that great man? He will appear. He will show himself, and he will unfurl the sacred standard of liberty. He will open the door of freedom for the slaves. Madame, you heard the name I married you with. Louverture. I took that name today. You know what it means?
No.
Louverture. It means the opener of the door to liberty for us slaves.
Then you are going to be this grandam? This big man?
Yes,
How'd you know?
I know.
Then you made big mistake, Toussaint. You took the wrong woman. I'm just a plain slave woman. I can't help you when you get to be that big man.
Toussaint! Toussaint!
Oh, mon Dieu. It's a Papaloy. Rico, the voodoo Papaloy, heard your talk. He's a-coming for you.
Did you hear me, Rico?
I heard you, Toussaint. You say you're going to free the slaves. I say you die in Black Dungeon, Toussaint.
See? The voodoo listen every place.
I say Suzanne come Dambala Gambamba tonight to be my Malloy.
The drums are calling. Kinga-doo-killa, kinga-doo-killa. The drums are calling. The drums.
Suzanne,
Kinga-doo-killa.
I'm not afraid of voodoo. You'll never be afraid of voodoo either.
Kinga-doo-killa.
You hear me, Rico? My power is greater than any voodoo.
Oh. Toussaint! The Papaloy is afraid. He's afraid of you. He'll run away into the jungle. He knows you're going to kill him. Why, he knows you bigger than voodoo. He knows...
The fall of the Bastille in Paris in 1789 shook the French colonial empire to its very foundations. When the National Assembly passed its famous Declaration of the Freedom and Equality of All Men, fury seized the colonists in Haiti. The white aristocrats put the mulattoes to death. When the priests attempted to intervene, the white bourgeoisie executed them. While tumult engulfed the towns, there was an ominous rumbling growing nightly more powerful. From the mountains came the ceaseless throbbing beat of the voodoo drums. Night after night.
They fight more and more among themselves. They don't think of us now.
We have secured many iron implements and staves. We have our knives.
We must be strong. We have everything to gain and nothing but an unhappy life to lose. They're always counting liberty and equality. Well, we too have a right to liberty, equality, fraternity.
An important visitor arrives in Port-au-Prince from Paris. One of the first men he calls upon is Monsieur Deneau, Toussaint Louverture's master.
As you may readily see, I am a mulatto. Though I have spent most of my life in Paris, the cause of the Negro of Haiti is close to my heart. I come partly to praise your enlightened treatment of your slaves, and partly...
Your pardon, Monsieur Doge. Toussaint, will you come in? I presume you come in the cause of the Society of Friends of the Blacks?
I do indeed, monsieur.
I should like my slave Toussaint to hear you.
Master?
This gentleman from Paris represents the cause of your people, Toussaint. I thought you would be interested.
This, then, must be Vincent Doge.
Oui,
You arrived on the boat today with General Laveau?
oui, with a message of hope.
From Monsieur de la Rochefoucauld, Lafayette, and Robespierre, no doubt. The streets of Port-au-Prince are bright with liberty caps, and one hears the cry of liberty and equality everywhere. But this is hysteria, monsieur. Voodoo hysteria. It cannot last.
But liberty...
Who has offered us liberty? The lesser whites of the island are shouting it. Yes, and regaling themselves with titles and uniforms. But the slaves, Where is their liberty?
It is theirs for the taking.
Do you suggest leading them into violence, monsieur?
Oui. However,
Then I only say you know not what you do. Your pardon, master.
this man is a slave.
I take considerable pride in owning the wisest slave on the island.
You own a caged parrot. Good day, monsieur.
Toussaint Louverture was powerless to stop the ill-advised and hot-headed Vincent Doge, who could only remain silent, sadly watching his people led toward doom. For under the leadership of the fanatical mulatto, drunk on the new freedom of revolutionary Paris, suddenly all over the colony, thousands upon thousands of slaves, insane with the memory of bloody cruelties, arose to throw from their bleeding backs the unendurable oppression of slavery. Burning, slaying, torturing, they spread like molten lava from one plantation to another. But the white men captured Vincent Doge, and they put him to death on the rack. Then the leadership of the black uprising fell upon the shoulders of Rigaud, the fanatical voodoo papaloy. Deep in the jungle, Rigaud incites his followers to still greater fury.
It's the plantation of flogging us. It's the call to burn. Toussaint soaking up the books. Toussaint soaking up the books.
Well, Toussaint, why are you waking me in the middle of the night?
Rigaud is leading his mob again. Have it, monsieur, the blues
He's
estate.
gonna
Now, come
die
I'll make you
someday
take
in
Madame
the
and free for your lives.
black.
For the United
It's
States,
the call
peace reigns.
to
I will sing for you,
burn,
monsieur.
in the flame to burn. It's the call.
Now, ride to the port. I will hold them. God speed your master and mistress.
Bless you, Toussaint. Farewell.
Toussaint, you traitor to the black people. I'll set the zombies after you. These black men raiding with me come new from their graves. They ain't men, they zombies. And they's going to eat your flesh, Toussaint.
I hate the voodoo. Now I'm an enemy of Rigaud. I attempted to dissuade Vincent Doge from his plan.
I can't argue about that. I was told to arrest you. Come along now. I've got your family in the cart over there.
My family.
They too are under arrest.
You cannot do this to
Will
them.
you come along quietly?
No. I regret, Monsieur le Capitaine, but I'm compelled to resist.
Then I've orders to kill the dirty lot of you.
I would not attempt it, monsieur.
Toussaint fled with his family to the mountains, where he gathered about himself a tatterdemalion army of slaves. Slowly he fought his way across Haiti until he had won half the former French colony. The Spaniards of Santo Domingo on the eastern half of the island welcomed Toussaint and his host as conquering heroes. But when Toussaint heard that the Spaniards had leagued with the British, who were slave owners, he suspected a trap, ordered the Spaniards to leave the island. Then, with lightning-like maneuvers, he marched his army west to Port-au-Prince in time to repel a British landing party. Toussaint at last was master of the island. They offered to make him king. Wisely he refused, installing rather a benign dictatorship, under which reforms were instituted. Schools built, roads repaired. Everyone, black and white, worked, and everyone was paid for his labor. Prosperity returned to Haiti, and Toussaint's palace became the center of culture. But not everyone serenely accepted the Black Napoleon.
Yes. I, Napoleon, have read here the blur of contemptuous hatred, the black caricature of myself. I have read in this letter to me an audacious declaration of defiance.
Excellency, you do not understand the conditions in the colony.
Monsieur Vincent, Toussaint Louverture will be destroyed. And for your presumption, he will be exiled to Elba.